sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
Sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
This is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't Sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Get your fucking life together. And I brought Saf with me.
I'm in the building, yo.
You know what I'm saying? It's a
Good day,
decent day in Philly.
But I figured I'd reach out
to one of my fellow MSU Bears. My guy, the bearded drummer, man. What's up?
Man, I'm cooler, man. You know, out here, staying active, trying to survive out here, out here in the land of the Rona, the quarantine shit. It's been crazy.
State you in now, city.
I'm in DC.
Still in DC.
Man, I'm in the heart of the action when it was going down.
Yeah, I know.
First, what's crazy, I was in Jersey with the fam for like 2 weeks. They in South Jersey.
Yeah. South. I don't know if you're aware of Henny and Waffles. It's called Henny and Waffles.
Yeah, bro. When we was in Philly, it was nuts.
I know it was nuts.
It was crazy. Like, and we would have been there again, but you know, Rona had other plans.
Well, explain how that situation came about. Where did that come from? How did your affiliation with that?
Man, first of all, I first hit them on something like, yo, let me do some shit on the humble. I ain't even got to pay me. I'm gonna come through. My first joint with them was at the Howard Theater here in DC, and I was like, yo, I could rock at the Howard Theater. I'm ready. You ain't gotta give me nothing. I just want that experience, want that feeling. You know what I'm saying? And so after that, bro, it was history. Killed that joint. And after that, bro, it was just live. That joint was on a Sunday. I think I called out of work on a Monday. Had the Henny in the it was crazy. It was crazy.
Do you get the drink like you want, or you gotta stay focused?
It was crazy is they be handing me the bottles sometimes. They be buying me drinks left and right, bro. I got the cup. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I be doing what I want up there. For real. As long as I stay on beat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody came to me like, yo, you off beat? I chill out. Like, oh, for real? I'll take a break. But nah, I'll be good though.
I mean, you're a professional anyway. You're a veteran at both drumming and drink anyway.
That sounds like a whole T-shirt right there.
Like I look into that. Like on some real shit, like to be in DC drumming ain't sweet either. Like a lot of people don't realize, like with go-go and percussion music heavy out there. The competition heavy. You gotta be able to switch it up and fuck with the people for real. So like, did you know was that a concern of yours when you first started running around that circuit?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah, for sure. Like, and me being from Jersey originally, bro, I didn't have I have no experience. The only thing I heard, you know how it is, like up north, it's like go-go. You listen to go-go, my nigga? Like, what are you doing? Like, put that shit off. Like, it's pots and pans and all that. That's what I heard at first. But then I had to, if I'm playing at Avery's, you know what I'm saying? I'm on H Street, I'm playing certain spots, and the DJ throw that joint on, I gotta know how to rock with it.
Yeah,
you know,
but it seems funner though. It seems so much more free as a form of like what you get to do along with it. Like,
of course. So there's certain joints, there's certain tracks that I could have way more fun with on the set instrumentation than others. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if they throw on some Meek shit. I mean, DJs love throwing on the Meek shit. Every time, and the crowd love that joint. I know that
the intro.
Yeah, like the back of my hand, bro. And so when they throw on something different, it's like, oh, all right, I hear you. I can fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy how big that Meek record got for real. That's like the biggest intro ever.
Yeah. And the livest joint was in Cali. When they threw the joint on, that video right there still has views crazy on my page.
Running it up.
You know what I'm saying? And that's way out on the West Coast. West Coast was crazy too, bro. And they got their own set music out there too. You know what I'm saying? They got that hypey feel. They got that West Coast vibe.
Yeah.
So it's just about listening to all types of music, bro. Like listening to everything, taking it in. I've just been blessed to be able to play what I hear.
How long you been playing?
Bro, I started out like most in the church, bro.
Yeah.
when I was a youngin', they couldn't, they tried to take me off. I'd be crying and everything, bro. And they tried to take me off the set. But I started in church back in Jersey, and just been playing ever since. What's crazy is I wasn't in the band at Morgan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As they say in Philly, but that wasn't my twist.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't my thing. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't even play at Morgan all heavy like I did. It happened when I got out.
Right.
So where'd you get your exposure down there? So how'd you get exposed to drumming down there in the region that you're in now?
I mean, like I said, I've always had drumming as something with me, you know what I'm saying, since I was a youngin'. And I saw somebody play with a DJ at a what's the name of this event called, like Jacking for Beats or whatever like that. Like, they use something event. And what's crazy about that event was Kendrick Lamar actually performed at that joint.
Oh, that's heavy.
Before he like blew up crazy.
Like Section 80?
Yeah, like we was like, yo, who the fuck is this thing down here? Like, this shit is wild. But before that, I seen the cat, he was live with the DJ, and I was like, yo, I could do that shit. You know what I mean? I could do that shit. And I just said one day, the story was, I went to Delaware, my man met me with his drum set. At the time, I had a coupe. So I put everything in my coupe. Tire was low on the joint. Drove all the way back to DC. Played that next day. And the rest was history. I played at Ozio's for like the first real exposure. And they loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole go-go joint is when you talk about it, it's just a live instrumentation. And so when you add that to the DJ, I think I'm a humble, drum around here. But one thing I think that separates me from a lot of drum, I can play pretty much anything. So you could throw on the Meek joint, or you could throw on some R&B shit. You could throw on some go-go shit, some reggae, Afro beats.
Yeah. Well, go-go comes from everything. They jacked everything and put their twist on it. My favorite go-go song is still Thug Passion to this day, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It holds a special place in my heart when that thing come on. But that's what I was mentioning earlier about, like, damn, like, I knew that you knew, like, in DC, when you on them drums, niggas is paying attention to them drums. Like, it's you don't get away with stumbles out there, man. They so, at a young age, the go-go is heavy out there, and I had to get adjusted to it when I went out there. I try to explain it to people all the time. I'm like, it's kind of like Baltimore club music. Like, I don't want to play this shit in my car, but when I'm in the environment where it go down at, play that shit all night, and I'm with y'all. Fuck it. I'll just stay out the way. But I'm enjoying myself. Like, it's a vibe that you don't get. And then with go-go, it's young black people mostly playing live instrumentation. Like, it's always going to be lit. It's like the same theory behind a black college band. Like, it's going to be decent. So, no, I definitely dug it. But I was like you said, man, we like go-go. Fuck is you listening to go-go for? But I respect them riding around to it and all that, because it's they shit. It's they shit. Like, Philly, they give us neo-soul, but we was just a major part in the soul movement. It ain't a Philly thing. Right. You know what I mean? We ain't got something like that. So that's ill as hell. Like, that's dope. I fuck with it. In Jersey has club, and Baltimore has club, which is two different vibes. Dude, so this music shit is just beautiful. Like, it's a lot of ways to get in pocket out here, man.
Yeah. So I found my way around. I rock at weddings, bro. Mm-hmm. That club joint, I got love from B More. Once that club come on, they hear that live instrument, it gets crazy.
I know it do.
It gets pretty nuts.
One of them heels come off the floor, one of them legs get stuck to the floor, and that ass get the popping. I know.
and we went to Toronto last year for Carabana.
Dope. They let you in Toronto, man. I heard they don't like your kind up there, man.
Well, you know what's crazy? And my passport was on some bullshit too. That it was actually gonna expire the day I was coming back from Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could have stayed. Fuck it.
Yo, it was
shit crazy down here.
It was beautiful, bro.
I know it is.
I can understand why Drake named the album Views, bro, because that's all you got out there. That's all you got.
Just look after look after look. Might as well just take a photographer with you.
Yes, sir.
Get your portfolio up.
Get your whole joint up.
And you know what's funny too? When I first started seeing you running around doing the drumming thing with the DJs and all that, I had jokes. Not because I thought it was whack. I had jokes because y'all used to always fuck with me. Y'all like y'all don't know because we wasn't on air yet. But as soon as we got on here, he started laughing. It's Lefty. Like these niggas didn't know how to let me walk by without cutting the fuck out. So my natural thing is like, man, I gotta kill. But then it was nothing to kill.
Yo, I think when I met you, bro, you ain't have none of that type of hair you got right now, bro.
Nah, I wasn't swinging like this.
Nah.
Not at all. I had the cornrows and I was proud of my hang time. Like, you know how you start getting hang time, you like, yeah. I had it for a while, but you know, whatever.
So let me tell you how I tell her how I met you at the gym.
Tell her. I don't remember you telling.
Yo, so at Morgan, it's crazy. It's like we had Hurt Gymnasium, right? And we had Hill Field House. Hill Field House was like where the real, you know, not the real games, but the team played. Morgan basketball team played volleyball, which I love the girls. The volleyball team, I love it. But the Hurt Gymnasium was where everybody came, and they pretty much got their name if you was nice on the court.
Yeah, it was the hood.
It was the hood court. It was like the Rucker Park of the state. You know what I'm saying? It was one side where the bums played on, and the other side was the A and B side. Like you had to sign this white piece of paper, like, yo, I'm next, put your name up. So when the Philly squad came through, I was like, yo, this nigga shooting with the left hand over here. The young boy shooting over here with the lefty. I guess thing nice over here. He got a little bounce to him, you know what I'm saying? Try to tap off the backboard, you know what I'm saying? Try to dunk a little bit. I said, I'm gonna strap him up when I get out there. This ain't scored nothing out here. But yeah, that's how I met him out there on the court. He was a dog out there. Game was crazy. But yeah, we was like, yo, lefty, and that was it. That stuck with him the whole time.
So hold up, what you do when you played against him though? What you do?
Yeah, I might have put up a few. But I wasn't taking no bullshit. Cause you couldn't take no bullshit on the A side.
No, it was rough.
Right.
It was rough. I'm pretty sure I cooked him. Like that's what she waiting for.
I ain't gonna hold you. He had a little crossover pull-up joint. He used to like. I learned that shit real fast.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen it many a times in the court, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yo, this nigga has a great memory.
Yeah, he like to get in the lane, drop it off. I remember that shit. I remember that. I remember that shit. But yeah, man, those are good memories and good people, whole crew.
Yeah. That's what's up. And that's how I felt about you. And it's funny because it sounded like we on juice. Like I fucked with your crew too. Like everybody was thorough and genuine. It wasn't nobody was trying to find themselves or be somebody else. Niggas was just staying in their lane and running their race. And I respected that. Right. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy though? All your folks that I met from Morgan is all cool. Like everybody is cool. Like I met a lot of y'all folks and they are really like everybody's like real squad. Like they just real cool. So I already knew you was gonna be a real one. We was sitting with you.
This is what whenever they would come around, I have to hide the girls that I had because
I know.
they'd be like, yo, who these niggas over here? I'd be like, yo, just stay right here. Stay right here. They got girls. They don't need you.
Yo, the funny thing is they used to literally say, yo, hide your women. That's why, yo, stop saying that.
Yo, y'all are crazy.
Yo, we had it. Yo, it was crazy.
Didn't you have a candle in your cup holder?
Yo, that story.
Let it burn.
I don't know. Yo, I don't know how that story.
You gotta be the smoothest nigga ever.
Yeah. I had to act back. I think I went to Walmart to get the joint to take to my dorm room for shorty or something. And these niggas clown me the whole time. They're like, yo, this thing got a candle in the whip.
Transport, they saw it and they was like, oh, he player.
It wasn't lit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the mood in the car. It wasn't lit. You know what I'm saying?
But somebody that was pimping like him, you would think that that's what it was.
I'm
like,
not mad. I wish I seen a candle in the car. That would have been decent. Like, oh, this for me? Oh. Like,
Y'all
yo,
gonna die.
in college days, that would have been the
They-
move, though. That would have been a move.
Riding the Montgomery.
No, I had to give you one. I just remember that shit when he was talking. I'm like, let it burn. But no,
Hater.
great times at MSU though. What made you go to Morgan?
Shit, my SAT score, to be honest.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold it. Wasn't what I thought it should be, but it was like, that might have been like my third choice. And so, you know, after when I went to pre-college joint, and I think it was July or whatever, I just felt it was just a good fit.
Pace joint, that Pace program, right?
And so I met a lot of cats from PG, which seemed like they was from a whole different continent.
They do.
I had never seen or heard the type of slang they was using. Seeing the Looney Tunes shirts, how they was rocking their Jordans, how they, you know, it was way
Rubber
different.
bands on their jeans, scrunchy socks. Niggas
Rubber
walk on their
bands,
toes.
bro, I love the Parasucos on the girls though, and the Sergios, all them joints back in the day. But the thing that bonded us was, it was just that I ain't seen none of that. You know, you had some cats who didn't want to hang out or be seen with certain groups of people just because of where they was from, and I could never understand that. I'd be like, yo, why you come to school out of state?
Right.
You should have stayed at home, my nigga. Like, if you didn't want to meet people and brand, that's what college was about. And so they, you know what I'm saying, met a whole lot of PG cats that still today, that's my brothers and all that, and just enjoyed it, bro. Enjoyed it.
It wasn't my first choice neither. All my original choices was down south, deep down south. I was going to Georgia, Florida, if you ask me. But like, all my homies went to school the year before me, so I kind of got the gauge, like, niggas that went far, it kind of wasn't worth it to me at that time to be that far and not be able to come back if I needed to, when I needed to, and flying standby because you can't afford a flight, like, you know what I mean? And I know when I finally decided that, I looked at everything I applied to, and only two schools that wasn't down south was Coppin and Morgan. And that was an easy choice. So we went with Morgan. And I don't regret it at all. But one thing about being in Morgan and being from Philly, damn near every weekend somebody's driving home. You could always get home. You got a hot dub for gas and tolls, you could get home. Like, and that was comfortable for me. Not that I was running home all the time, because you know me, I was out there every weekend partying with y'all. But like, it made it more like for my mental state, because I was going through a lot of loss at that time. I was losing people left and right when I was in 12th grade going into college. So it made it easier for me. But definitely a blessing in disguise type thing.
I was weekend, bro. I had a girl back in Jersey. So freshman year when we was at OC, like, I was home every weekend until I got hit. Like, this is not gonna work. I was, hey, what you doing? Yeah, I'm going over here. I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna call you back. And after a while, that started happening quite often.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? $1 parties. They had the $2 parties. I'm saying I'm having a good ass time. But I learned a lot during that time, bro. And yeah, wouldn't trade it for nothing. I wish I would have traveled to more colleges during the time though, just to meet different people. But yeah, man.
We tried to do a little bit of traveling. Squad was homecoming hoppers like a motherfucker. We would rent a truck and load up all the squatters and just follow each other out and go everywhere. We went to Eastern Shore. Everybody hit Howard whenever we wasn't the same weekend as them. That was a layup for anybody from Morgan. But we ran around as much as we could. Because I think for a lot of people, they never had really been nowhere for real anyway, though. Like, I had always traveled when I was younger, but like a lot of the homies and shit, like, I think that was new for them. Especially with that kind of control. Like, we was basically grown at that point. So you're supposed to get around and get out and touch the people. On some real shit.
Y'all had a whole totally different experience than what I had. You know, I always talk about how I wish I had an HBCU experience. Mm-hmm. I went to Temple. So, and from Temple, I was working straight from school, straight to work. I didn't go to anything. I was a grown ass, so I wasn't going to college parties. I was in clubs with fake ID. So I didn't have any of the experience that y'all had. You know, the enrichment from being around, you know, your culture and your community, to even just not necessarily being as responsible because I had to work.
Yeah.
So it was just a whole different experience. So I kind of wish that I had transition was. I would have been to Howard. That's where my family was anyway.
You'd have loved Howard too. But like, I mean, it is what it is at that point. I didn't go to Temple because I already went to school in North Philly. And I refused to go to college in North Philly. It was like, yo, I went to E&S, then I went up Broad Street. I'd be back on Broad Street. Like, it would have been too much. And I'd have been too comfortable with still being around the way and shit like that.
You
like,
used to see me. I used to be like, listen, I used to see you.
Yeah, like, so my folks was mixing. And if they was in the mix, I was going to be in the mix. At least in Baltimore, it wasn't nothing more than like random shit we went through campus bullshit. I didn't have to go through neighborhood shit while I was out there and still worry about going to school. So that helped a lot. Not that I graduated, but you know, it helped a lot.
Still, I feel like the exposure is a lot for you, for anybody that's exposed to that.
Absolutely. And I mean, all of college mostly is about your network. That piece of paper, cool, but you come out of there with a network. And I have a network that's based around people that I know genuinely understand where I come from, what I'm trying to achieve, and what my family is about, because they are. You know what I mean? They in the same boat as me, mostly. But it, like my aunt said, when you go to a HBCU, they'll make sure that you got what you need. They'll never give you what you want. The people in that community will never let you fall, but they ain't just gonna give you shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I felt.
And being in Baltimore during that time was crazy. I think Baltimore was going through a transitional time. There was a point where I wouldn't even. I mean, to this day, I never walked to Northwood by myself. If you found me walking over there, I might have was going to Sonny's real quick, grabbing me a chicken box. You know what I'm saying? A little half and half action and getting out of there. I wasn't hanging out
myself, and I lived across the street.
Yo, niggas was getting robbed of their groceries going back to OC, and it was a lot going on. There was a party we had in Norfolk one evening. You know about this?
I'm listening.
Yo, so it was a gathering. I would call it a gathering. A little kickback joint. And so I had to be a little 2-bedroom joint in Norfolk. So a good little space in the living room, whatever. But we in there, and then people started leaving in and out, going to some other party, coming back, whatever. And so we called them the locals at the time. So there's a knock on the door. Cat's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get in. We want to come through. We come in. And I could tell, I was sitting there on the couch with a little joint, sipping a little beer, whatever, having a good time. But I could tell the exchange at the door wasn't friendly when they left. So I'm like, yo, I just had a feeling like these niggas may come back. Lo and behold, about an hour, maybe and a half past, knock on the door again. Lights is out in the hallway, bro. So you know it's going down. My man went to the people and said, yo, the lights is out right here. A couple seconds later, kicked the door in. I'm on the joint. I sober up so fast. I'm chilling on the joint with the joint. I said, oh, I had my bottle with me, but they came in swinging the gun, everything like this. They're like, we don't want nobody to move, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna be no example. I'm gonna wait till he turn his back and I'm out of here. Yo, so he turned his back and I make a beeline to the bathroom. Somebody was in there already. I said, yo, let me in, bro. I ended up hopping out the window, bro.
I went through it. We wasn't even partying. We was it was a homecoming weekend. It was like the Sunday afterwards, and we was chilling. Niggas watching football. Most niggas have sleep and shit. Everybody still drunk from the night before. And somebody knocked on the door. My man answered the door, and he come backing into the room with his hands up. And next thing I know, I'm on the floor laying down. So I'm looking. I got a machete to my neck, a rusty drum. They got a pistol to my man head. He sleep. He wake up like, oh shit. Like, it was crazy. And they was deep. Not to mention, I had went home a weekend or two before that, and I had took my slammer home. And wherever I got back, I couldn't bring it back with me. So now, I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing in this situation. You see what I'm saying? But it was that Northwood life was different, because like your neighbors was Section 8 motherfuckers. The neighborhood was everywhere in there. Like but they called them on-campus housing. Like you had to fill out the same paperwork as you did to live in the dorm to live in this apartment with smokers and shit next to you, and it was the hood. Like it was really that, and that's why niggas had stuff all the time anyway. But at that point, they called me slipping like a motherfucker. I was sick. I just glad everybody was safe though, because they really ain't get shit. It was the end of homecoming weekend. Niggas was broke.
Definitely learning lessons. You know what I'm saying?
I can't hear you, Just.
Oh, you hear me now?
Speaking to the mic.
Yeah, you got. Oh, my fault. You know this. Hey, look. You know what's crazy? You know I'm a teacher too, and out here the last part of the school year was crazy with the whole Zoom joint and everything. Yeah. And the kid, I legit. So I had 8th graders this year, and I had about 60, maybe 66 8th graders. I legit saw about 15 of them on Zoom toward the end of the school year. And they already knew like they wasn't going. So the whole message was, we can't fail you. You dig what I'm saying? Like the message was, we're not going to fail you. So you had some of them who really played the system, because if it wasn't on Rona, they might have repeated the 8th grade. To be honest, so learning the whole, just getting accustomed to the whole, you on mute or speaking to the mic. Well, I can't hear you, man. I went through that joint like every day with them, but that's how, bro. I don't know how like the joint gonna look come the fall. DC hasn't really laid out a plan yet for like what everything is gonna look like with the kids going back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't know, bro. Because I know Baltimore, Virginia joint, they all virtual. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, gotta change the whole outlook.
But like, yeah, let's get to that though. Like, since the COVID shit and everything hit, like, first of all, what was your perception in the beginning of it? Like, what did you think? How long it was gonna last? What kind of effect did it have? And how did it turn out? What the outcome
first
fit into that?
First, being around the kids, bro, they had jokes all day, bro. Especially 8th graders. They don't get. 8th graders don't. They in there. One boy coughed. They like, oh, you got the Rona. Oh, you got the Rona. That's how they was the whole time. They like, Mr. Right, you can't shake my hand today. We got to tap feet or whatever like that. You can't. Nah, you might have a Rona. So they was, we was joking about the jump.
Which is a way to deal with trauma.
Which is how they deal with a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? On the record, even if it wasn't the Rona. So it was just something where we was just like, yo. I can remember like looking at the news or somebody hitting me like, yo, some school system just said they ain't going to school next week.
That's what I was going to ask you. What was your date? When was your last day in school with students?
Damn, I can't. Is it in March? Was it March?
Yeah, our last day was March 13th. I work for the school district here too. Our last day was March 13th. Yeah. So I was wondering how responsive or if it was any time difference with the school districts.
It was around. So I teach. So up here. So down here, last year I took DC charter, and it wasn't public, but we followed the public schools. You know what I'm saying? What they were going out, whatever, snow, delays, whatever. We followed them. And so once DCPS put out that like, yo, we not coming back the next week or the following week, I knew the shit was real.
It was going to 2-week interims, right?
Yeah, I knew the shit was real. And then at the same time, I mean, the pros and cons of that journey is you got kids who really need that one-on-one instruction, saying in the classroom. And so, legit, like I said, the numbers definitely. So the effect on them was crazy because the ones I had in the classroom who were like my best students, once they came on Zoom, it was terrible.
Because of the environment.
The home environment too. Like some of them, a lot of our youth, they come to school to escape that.
I was getting to that. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
And the only meals they get is in school regularly and shit like that. Like I've been worried about all of that. Yeah.
When you mentioned structure, I was going to let you finish, but I was going to dig into that a little more. That it's also the structure, it's the discipline, it's the meals, it's the safety, it's just all of that.
Mentorship.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So it's the environment as a whole. As you saw, just first and foremost, firsthand, that your top student completely changed when he was in a whole different environment. So it's a necessity for a lot of students.
And even their quality of work, like even they whole vibe was off, but even the quality of work, like when I got it back, I was just like, yo, I had to call someone on the phone, like, yo, what is this? like, like, you
This ain't
doing?
what you do.
This ain't you. They're like, yo, Mr. Wright, I just don't feel like doing it. Like, I don't even feel like being on here. So it definitely had, and what's crazy is some students actually was on there daily. The relationship we had went up. It was crazy online than what we had in person. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. And so some of my lower performing students, it worked out for them because they needed that one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have them distractions in the classroom.
Zoom kind of gave you office hours a little bit.
They gave me the office hour joint. So we was on from like 9 to 11 and then 2 to 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody didn't have a plan for the rollout. It was just like, okay, here's some work. We need you to finish it. And some of them knew it was busy work. Some you can't. 8th graders know hit. They already hit when shit is like it don't make sense.
I mean, it's the same shit you give me when the substitute come in.
Right.
Welcome, yes sir.
Like,
yes sir. And you legit couldn't teach them nothing new
because you can't implement it, reinforce it, balance it out. Like,
do it with integrity. So that was a whole nother. That's a whole nother challenge in itself, man. And now you got this whole virtual shit coming up. It's going to be a reach. And you got some kids who are already falling behind, and they fall behind some more.
but you're gonna have an entire generation of that, and that'll balance itself out too. It's like it's so crazy, like that they all took the hit at the same time, and everybody's going to utilize it different. But that's school in general. Just like what I was about to say, like some of the kids that benefit from being on on Zoom with you and stuff like that. That speaks to the fact that we need to teach kids in multiple different ways. Different kids need to learn in multiple different ways, different attention, different things. And maybe we need to identify which ones might need this kind of schooling more regularly versus the other. Like, there might be something to look into, or maybe something that you can split. Certain schools allow teachers to split their curriculum up into something that makes sense like that. What you think about that?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think the main thing that we get out of this is that, so first of all, this thing broke everybody out their comfort zone.
What?
It broke everybody out their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to, whether I don't care what field you was in, you had to adapt in some way. So if I was used to teaching one way or this way, now I'm like, yo, I gotta switch it up to reach these kids creatively online.
How do you make it exciting? Because I'm sure in a classroom you bring something to it that you can't do on Zoom. What do you do to make it different? Do you change your background? Do you?
Because sometimes in the class I use the drums bruh. In the class, sometimes I make songs, bruh. I have to. I remixed a few joints. Felt like I was a rapper at times. They looking at me like, yo, Mr. Right, yo, sit down somewhere. Like,
but they love it though.
They love it though. You got to take your cool off. You got, and yo, that's the thing. Like, most of them just don't know how to just chill and be themselves. Yo, they got to put up this front. The kids are cool as shit out here. They don't care. So it's definitely taught me. I did change my background a few times. All that shit. You had little virtual competition, like some. You know what I'm saying, if you could find something in your house, bring it to the camera. You know what I'm saying? I had to cash app somebody, first person to do it. Any money or food, whatever, they love it. Yeah. Saying I'm sending Uber Eats to your house, got a pizza for you. You know what I'm saying? And sending. And I'm still learning, bro, because there's different platforms, and different ways to teach them now. So it's not just Zoom. That's the last resort. So there's so much shit out here now. House party, play posit, something like
I can't keep up my damn self, bro. I just figured out Zoom, and now I'm on Skype. Like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on, and I don't set up none of this shit. I got 5 productions for that. But like, I'm still confused by all of this technology stuff. But the kids know it already.
Of course, yeah. So I don't
they
even
born with it. That's what was happening with all the verses. It's like, where is your nephew at?
Right.
So he could fix your motherfucking sound and tell you how to work your phone, because they've been doing this shit since damn near birth.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you.
Exactly.
For me, the challenge was being a parent, having to go through that, because like you said, everybody had to adapt. So now I have to work from home, but also I have to teach my kids. I have young kids; they're 5 and 6. So now my kids' school didn't drop a beat. That Monday they had lesson plans ready for them to do virtually, and they had apps and all that kind of stuff. So now I gotta be a kindergarten teacher, a first grade teacher, and an accountant all at the same damn time. Like, that was a challenge. That was definitely a challenge. So, like, selfishly, I was like, if I wanted to be a teacher, I'd have went to school to be a damn teacher. Like,
that's how a lot of people felt. That's how a lot of people felt.
I don't have the patience for this. Like,
and you know what's funny about helping kids with work when you're not a teacher? You realize how much you forgot. Like, you really got to study the shit again just to get on A level, and you done surpassed all of that. But it's the basics of it, and you have to teach it the way that they're learning it also, right, which has changed since we've learned it.
Right.
So it's different for people, but I want to salute, as I've done a few times on here, the parents that held it down and that tried their best, because that's all the fuck you can do, and I'm sure the teacher will co-sign that. But I want to also salute you as a black male teacher, because y'all are necessary. You, CJ, you know, we got a bunch of motherfuckers that we fuck with that are really doing what it takes, and I see the response and I hear the response that your students get from you, as opposed to other teachers that I may talk to, and what their interactions or their takeaways from the interactions are. You know what I mean? Because on y'all side, y'all understand certain things, so y'all don't take other things personal, and y'all build on that. And that's what these kids know. I mean, that's what they need. Because like we said, they don't know how to be their self, but they know when you're not.
Right.
They'll pick you out in a minute. Like, oh, he a chump.
Right.
He clowning. Oh, he think no. Because if you don't feel like they uncle, they cousin, somebody that's genuine, that they know like he's being him, they go off feelings. Kids, we put up all these barriers when we grow up as adults that kids don't have. They just feel. So they'll kill you if you're not you. So I just wanted to salute y'all for keeping it real with these children, man, and being in their corner, because it's important. They was paying extra in Baltimore when we was in college for black male teachers. Remember that shit?
Yeah. I remember the whole thing, post going around or to the field or going to study education. You know what I'm saying? So, man, listen, I came into it because, hold up, this Skype thing got some emojis on there. What is that? Okay, that's crazy.
It's all
yeah, I guess that's what it is. So, at Morgan, after a while when you in school, you're like, I want to get out. You're like, I don't want to be in classes no more. First of all, I hated
teaching
accounting.
credits was low.
I heard you say accounting. I'm like, me and the accountant didn't go together. I don't know. So I legit got a business degree from Morgan. I got a business degree. So first I went for psychology. I changed the joint to computers because I heard they was making money, but then couldn't learn no Java or no programming. That was too crazy
it's
for
all
me.
switched again anyway.
All switched. So then I went to business management, because I'm like, first of all, the path was crazy easy to get out in time, and then you can take that degree pretty much anywhere you need to.
Right. I was a business marketing major. Go ahead.
So did that, and then got involved with this program, which was actually big in Philly, called Freedom School. Philly had a crazy large population of freedom schools, and the whole concept. That's how I got into teaching. It was crazy. In Jersey, this lady came up to me. She was like, you want to make 2,000 in like 5 weeks or something like that? And to a college student, I'm like, I'm down. What I got to do? And she like, you teach like 10 kids every week. You go down in Tennessee for a week of training, which was lit, by the way, I have to say. You meeting, that shit was like a whole nother freshman experience in college, bro. Like, you meeting people from all over the country, bro. And it was just crazy. It just opened my eyes to that field. And like every other summer, that's what I was doing. Just started that experience. I worked in Baltimore public schools for a little bit, which was a hell of an experience. And I gained a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's how I started out, bro.
Yeah.
And then came down here.
That's dope. What made you make this jump to DC? You just wanted to go to DC the whole time, or was it an opportunity?
Initially, first got the teachers were getting paid more down here. And what I learned quickly is that because the cost of living is it's some bullshit, bro. It's dumb. So that's one thing that I came that attracted me was the salary.
Yeah.
And then I just liked the area at the time. DC has changed so much, man. Just like every other city. It used to be called Chocolate City, and now, like, I mean, you don't even see none of that no more. I could see myself moving out of DC somewhere else because the shit has changed so much. You know what I'm saying? So unless like Southeast, which is considered the hood area, or some parts of Northeast, I mean, we really not the majority around here anymore. And that was the thing with the whole go-go movement. Like, I know you seen the Don't Mute DC shit. Don't Mute DC. We was out in the streets. Mm-hmm. I'm out in the streets like I'm from DC. But I love the music and you know what I'm saying? I love the culture, so I was out there supporting, bro.
Part of the culture.
That shit's crazy. We got white people trying to petition people to turn the music down. Or my nigga, you moved to the same community. You moved to this community.
But they going through that shit in the Bronx. They going through that shit in Brooklyn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta imagine these motherfuckers been here the whole time. It's literally tradition. Saturday morning to blast this shit. Saturday night to blast this shit. It's tradition. The whole hood know. Yeah. But now you coming around starting a fucking ruckus because you never came by at nighttime when you was scoping out the spot you wanted to invest in.
Mm-hmm. And this culture been here.
It been here. It's grassroots. It built the neighborhood.
It built the neighborhood. Area.
Who the fuck is you?
That's what it was.
And it was the camaraderie part of it. It was the together part of it. It was the thing that we all vibed on. Whether like it was like go-go. Like, even if initially you was like, well, what the fuck? Eventually you start looking forward to it. It's the thing. You know, it's like anything else. Like with Henny and Waffles, I imagine when they had the idea's an idea, but then you got to make it a thing. And once you make it a thing, you could gain momentum. Once you gain momentum, then you see Toronto and LA and shit like that. But it has to be a thing first. So in these neighborhoods, that's the thing. That's the thing. And we all bought into it, and the people that don't like it have found ways to deal with it. They don't call the police. Like, that's just crazy. I don't understand that shit, man. But they taking over, you know, it's Karens and cows everywhere, man.
Yeah. So this year I'm teaching social studies, and I ain't lying not one bit.
My nigga.
I know that's right.
I'm not lying. I can't, bro. I can't sugarcoat nothing.
My least
perfect time.
You a blessing.
We living in the perfect time.
Don't even know how lucky they are to have you. To have somebody that's speaking the truth to them.
But my least favorite subject in middle school and high school was social studies and history, because you can't teach me black history and then teach me American history at the same time, because it don't make sense. Because I know you're lying. Like, you're making me memorize dates, names, and times of people that didn't do what you saying they did, and I already know that as a youngin'. Right. So it's hard to, like, and you know, like, a lot of those classes is just memorization of dates, times, and events. Yeah. And if I don't buy into it, I don't have the inspiration to grasp it. So, like, I was better at science and math than shit that I just had to read something over and over again to get. Because it added up. If I put this plus this minus this, it comes to this. If I do it backwards, it's the same shit. So that was always, so if you're gonna keep it real with them, you're gonna save some of them, because that's what killed me in that area. And I never got bad grades, but I always had like a C. I always had a C.
Yeah, and if I could go back, bro, high school, man, I would have got all A's, bro. So I could have got scholarships all crazy.
Yeah.
I would have made sure my shit was A, no other letters.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
priorities is different, but also I only saw a couple people that looked like they was having fun while they was getting straight A's too, and I wasn't. I would have had to work probably harder than them to get them, so I knew I wouldn't have had no fucking fun. So I kind of balanced out fun and just getting through it. And like I said, like we was talking about college earlier, I got accepted to all the colleges I applied to. I didn't get full rides like I probably could have, but at the same time, like, I don't know, my mental health was more important too. Could have done better, but I wasn't gonna get straight A's better, cause I was still partying, I was still hooping, I was still outside.
I think that my whole goal and purpose for the social studies joint, like you said, the math and all that, and whatever that shit adds up. I want them to recognize the value. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't got enough people telling them what they worth, showing them what our people was worth. You know what I'm saying? And they just don't see it on the regular. I showed them Malcolm X. Yeah, I showed them Malcolm X documentaries. I showed them Khalif Browder joints, to the point where somebody goes, "What you showing in here?" Man, what you mean when I'm showing them what they need to see? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. So this is how I know kids are engaged when they start asking me questions. You know what I'm saying? When they like, yo, this really happened? Like, why wasn't nobody at the door checking people when Malcolm X got shot? They told he was having death threats.
Right.
Why ain't nobody?
Common sense shit.
Right.
Because it was a setup.
I'm saying?
Right.
But like, damn, I forgot what I was about to say. What I was about to say.
I don't know, but what I was going to say is the impact that you have is the value is colossal. How does it feel? Do you notice you're a role model or a mentor, and how does it feel do you know that you're a role model or a mentor? Do you take the role onto that responsibility? Hold on,
before you answer that, the first part of that will be my question, which is, have you shown the move bombing? Then you can get into that.
Okay.
Which
move
one?
bombing, the shit that happened in Philly.
Nah.
Look up the move bombing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We talk about Black Wall Street all the time. Look up the move shit. It's important, and it's like, it shows so much if you actually watch, because they show the whole things leading up to it. They show that day, minute by minute, what decisions was made, who called who and said what, and who took the blame for what. It's crazy. But you can answer her question. But look up the move bombing.
Yeah. So no, my question was, do you see yourself as a role model and a mentor, or do you accept the responsibility?
Yeah, I think and this, first of all, I think that because the work that I do is relationship work. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have, like, almost by default, I'm like if I see I already know a kid ain't having a good day or a great day when they first come in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And it's my responsibility. Because I don't know what they went through before they came in the door, what happened the night before, what happened that morning. You know what I'm saying? And it's my responsibility. Like, it was good. You need to talk. You need to, it was good, because they definitely not gonna hear what I'm saying if they can't get over what they just into. You know, half the time they done seen shit I probably haven't ever had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? In my life. So just by default, I have to be, and I'm okay with that. I still keep in touch with some students to this day. And what's crazy, some of them follow me on Instagram, and they like, yo, you had a good time the other night, didn't you? I'm like, yo, what you talking about? She's like, yeah, this girl in the car. I saw you. I was like, nah, have a seat. Get ready for the lesson we about to learn right now. But it's good for them to see the different sides and let them know that I don't live under. I know what songs they sing in the past. I know what they rapping. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You can play with.
I know what they looking at. Yeah, like I know the terms and the slang, whatever y'all using. I'm like, nah, y'all need to chill out. I know that song. I know you can't sing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's good. I have to by default. You know what I'm saying? They're my people.
That's why that also speaks to and supports why I was saying that your impact is so valuable and so colossal, because a lot of people, although they're in their role, they don't look at it that way. They look at it as a 7 to 3 or whatever it is, but they don't understand the impact and the value that they have on numerous people, not just one, but the numerous people who they see on a day-to-day basis for however long they're in that position. So, a shout out to you for that, and I appreciate the example that you're leading, especially the way you're doing it. Like you said, you showed the Khalif Browder story, and just the way that you're showing history and social studies for them to be able to navigate the world a little bit differently, rather than if you would have just taught straight out of the textbook.
And we went to the same elementary and middle school, and it was a black private school. So every month was Black History Month. So that's why I say I was learning Black history the same time I was learning American history, because that was the basis. Like, they taught us all of that shit simultaneously the entire time you were there. There was always a Black history program. There were always black people on the walls that, had a story behind them and a paragraph next to them and quotes around them, and we helped build those walls and shit like that. We were always a part of the programs. Yeah, we had to play these people, W.E.B. Du Bois and Frederick Douglass and what's my man, Heidi. You know what I mean? Like, we had to become these people and understand what these times were, put ourselves in those positions, which when we went into the world, I see the people that went to school with me, when they went into the world, most of them went into it with a different confidence than other people had, a different self-awareness than other people had. Whatever they did, good, bad, or indifferent, was on them. It wasn't because of a circumstance that you would be like, well, what the fuck? Because they knew what they was doing. They knew who they was, and they carried it that way. And that's across the board. So, like, every time we talk, we have a common ground that we stand on, which all black children should have. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's dope. That's dope as hell. I'm big on rites of passage programs too. Y'all got anything like that going on out there?
I think, what's crazy? I haven't, and I wish more came through the school. I think they might have had like one come through during the school year, and I've had to at least ask some people to try to come through. But I haven't. They got them out here, but they're not exposed to them like they should be.
Well,
or something like that, or you know what I'm saying? I've heard it. Kids be involved, but it's not that good.
Well, I'll build with you on it, and we could figure out some things, and maybe I could send some folks your way to make it make sense. But it was a weekly elective in my middle school for the if you was in 7th and 8th grade and you was male. So much so the females was mad. They wanted they say.
Say, I appreciate it.
Pissed.
I wasn't necessarily mad. I mean, I probably was kind of mad. But but no, I appreciated the fact that y'all even had that. And then in hindsight, seeing what it provided for you, I appreciate it even more. I talk about that all the time. So I really hope that more comes to fruition and more are exposed and can have more of exposure and impact in our community, because our young men need it. It's a lot of times they don't have the examples and the mentors and the role models like Justin. You know what I mean? It's the black male teacher is, I'm sure,
scarce.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So they need to be highlighted, not only the teachers, but just the men in the community that can lead by example and show what is to be the man.
And that's what it's for, and that's what it's about. And the thing about it is, I'm bringing it up the same reason I brought up the move, Bonnie. If we say it on here, the energy is out there. People become aware. We figure it out from there, man. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody might be watching this that might be right by you that'll say, you know what? Why the fuck ain't they pulling up? Let me see what's going on and make it happen. But if not...
Or somebody might have one and say, you know what? Let me pull up. Let me look at some more resources so I can give some more access. Because, it's all about resources.
But at the end of the day, we want to be a resource. So we'll help too. We'll help get some figuring done. You know what I mean? Just tap me on the shoulder, let me know what you need, and what your ideas is, and I'll shoot you something back.
Okay, I'm with it.
Word.
Yes, sir.
Word. This has been a great conversation, Just, man. My guy, the bearded drummer. I appreciate you tapping in with us.
Bro. Yes, sir. I'm about to put some work in a minute. I got to stick here. About to do some shit on my drum pad in a minute.
You want to do something on air real quick, or you can't?
I don't got set up. We can do that another day.
Word.
Oh, that's right.
Matter of fact, what you can do is you can send me a video and I can add it to this episode. You could, even if it's a club joint, something that you already got in your phone, just Send it to me, email it to me, and we'll add it to this. Sure, you getting busy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're gonna get back to it one. I'm gonna be back in Philly soon, man. Playing for the people. I got
That's
you.
what's up. I'm trying to get you in the studio. I told him at one homecoming, like, we gotta get in the booth if you rocking like that. He like, yo, don't be bullshit. I'm talking about soon. Niggas be playing all the time. I'm like, bro, I be busy, but I'm serious.
Right.
So I still gotta get with you on that time too.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, I appreciate you, man, and I'll talk to you soon, man. Definitely great conversation. Definitely good luck and keep up with everything you're doing and just be great, man.
Salute to you, man. Salute. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
And tell your crew I said what up.
Of course, man. Yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna hide the lady still if you come around because that's just wild. My guy, though. I'm gonna email you that joint and we're gonna wrap.
Man, appreciate you.
All right, son.
So yeah, since we last seen each other, I sent you quite a few links, articles, shit like that.
Whole lot.
Whole lot. No, because I mean, I want you aware, and also like, we care about similar things. But what were some of the things that I know you be holding out till you sit with me on here? So
that's
what was
why,
you?
Yeah, I've been. Just
I don't want to skip that, even though we had a guest tonight. Let's get to some of that.
Double tap, like I'm in this. I saw this. But. So all of it was interesting, to be honest. I want to talk to a lot of it, but the first thing that stood out was Monique and her progressing with her case against Netflix.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because initially she got a lot of backlash from specifically our community in regards to know her own worth, and I think that's a problem because if you don't know your own worth, who does, right? Right.
I mean, I don't think it was about her knowing her worth. I think it was about her delivery.
Right.
I think that the comparison to Dave Chappelle was fucking crazy.
Right.
That's like saying you should get paid with LeBron get paid if you not like
right.
You a 6-man and you talking about I need LeBron numbers.
Right.
It's like you could be the best 6-man ever, but you ain't Brian.
So is it because of the numbers? So do you think it would have been more appropriate for her to maybe compare herself to another female comedian or Chelsea Handler?
Just a lower tier comedian in general, not somebody that's making what he's making. Because she tried to make it, from what I understood.
She said she was only decorated.
It was racist and sexist.
Absolutely.
And when you get to that point, you don't prove that point with a juggernaut, an outlier like Dave.
Right.
Because his numbers are going to well outweigh initially other people. Now it's just like NFL and NBA contracts.
She feel like she's that outlier though as well.
She is an outlier in her own sense, but she's no Dave. That's like Mary J is great, but she's not Prince. Like you can't compare yourself to what Prince was getting if you marry.
Right.
Not yet.
Do you think if it happened at the height of her career, it would have been maybe different?
I think that's possible, but I also think that business is business, right? So just because say they cleared $600 million this year or just 6 months for comedy budgets, and they said top pay is going to Dave Chappelle and maybe one other person, right? So they give them those deals. Then they find out how to fit everybody else under there,
and you get what left was.
And they started trying to make Netflix in that time comedy heavy. Sure. They started taking over all the stand-up specials as far as streaming services. They had all of them.
They did.
So maybe 2-3 years, maybe 4 years later, you have a whole nother offer. Because they've established this base, and because you got to realize part of what they were doing was trying to flood quickly because the LOL network was starting, which Kevin Hart started, which is strictly for comedy. So it was a balance to that. Like we still got to let them know we got it over here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. So it's like you just got to be careful when you're presenting something brand new to people that's about your livelihood. You have to say it the right way that they can understand it. If you want to keep going on public platforms about it, it's just like why the Daily News and the Enquirer is written on the 3rd grade on reading level. Average person is not going to buy into what you're saying unless you come to their level.
Exactly.
You got to get with them, and she knows that. She from Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Like she know what it is, and that's one of those things where it's like that also gives you that cockiness sometimes and the arrogance of, come on now, I'm one of y'all, but you ain't been one of them for a long time. And when you start saying that they offered you millions and you're upset about it,
right?
that starts showing the space that you had between them then and them now.
Yeah, I get that, but I definitely think I get that to an extent, but I definitely think that it was about her knowing her worth and her value.
But I think also we give the internet too much fucking credit. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
When we every time somebody says, "Yo, I got more backlash from my own community," they're talking about Twitter, yo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of miserable people on Twitter. There's a billion fake accounts on Twitter. Probably, like, you don't even know if the black people you was arguing with was really black people.
Yeah, but even from the barbershops and just regular conversation, I personally heard a lot of people talking.
But that's because of lack of understanding.
Absolutely.
Ignorance is a motherfucker. So it's like, she's like, I knew that her baseline point was right. I knew her approach was wrong.
Absolutely.
I knew her going on.
What do I tell you all the time? It's not, I live by this. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
And you can't keep saying you leading with love as an excuse to keep shutting people down.
But if you can't say you leading with love when you be straight talking shit. Like, you can't do that.
You're going to say that you're using that man's given name and say it wrong the entire time, which means that you looked him up, Googled him, read it to yourself, never heard nobody say it, and thought you had one. That was supposed to be a kill shot. That was supposed to be a joke. That was supposed to humble that man on his own platform. But he's been doing it so long that he gave her the opposite.
Right.
He dialed back and let her do her. And it made him look better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if he'd have went up against that black woman
and that's what
in any form of fashion, which she knew, he'd have looked horrible.
You can't always look like, you can't always be like, you can be angry, but for me, you can't always be the angry black woman. Like, that's not how you get things sometimes.
But see,
for
that's
me,
the
it's
thing too.
substantiation with support. Like I said, okay, I don't have to yell at you, but I'm still get my point across because I'm gonna show you what my worth is, and you paid this person, this person, this person.
Well, some people don't.
I did this, and this. This is what I'm owed, but you ain't got to be. Yeah.
Some people don't know how to have discussions. They only know how to have arguments. Some people don't know how to argue. Some people don't know how to debate without this.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of forms of this. So like, she has a form of that. Like, I'll act like I love you and I'm here respectfully, but I'm gonna still throw a slick shot repeatedly, just because I gotta feel like I'm one up.
Listen, I don't have energy.
And that's scary. But like, it's like a point that I make all the time based on what Charlamagne's reaction to it was. What do I always say? You don't have to win on your platform.
Right.
You give your point, let them give their point, let the people decide.
Exactly.
Most of the time, they'll make themselves look crazy if they crazy. You don't have to.
Exactly.
Now, you could do some slick shit if you're good with it and ask certain questions that'll expose it. But to combat that energy with that energy doesn't get you anywhere if you're somebody that has to sit in that seat every day.
Right.
You got to sit there every day. Mm-hmm. So he did his job. She didn't do her job explaining. They gave her the platform to explain it, but she came with animosity and outrageous comparisons, and then the rest of the time she was just mad at the backlash that she got from the initial thing. Mm-mm. Nobody ever said that she was wrong or didn't deserve more. And a lot of people actually said that queen deserves whatever she wants. Right. But also, if they offer you that and it's not what you worth,
don't take it.
Don't take it. That's like somebody that said they was mad at me because I tried to sell them something in the streets that was overpriced, and they thought I was trying to play them. And I'm like, I don't never remember that situation, but they said they ain't buy it, right?
Well, it's just like taking a job.
Like I didn't sell you something broken.
Right.
And then you got home and found out it was broken. And then I said, no, man, you knew it was broken. I'm not giving you your money. It wasn't like that. You never bought it.
But listen, personally, that's just like me. I took a pay cut in my other life, right? In my day to job, my 9-to-5, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I intentionally knew that I went somewhere and was taking less money than what my worth and value was. Mm-hmm. I cannot sit here and complain right now about that because I signed that contract. You made the
decision for a reason for your future. And
I
your
consciously made that decision for whatever reasons I made that decision for. I made the decision. Mm-hmm. But right now, I cannot complain to you about the decision I made.
And that's the thing. She didn't take the contract. They didn't tell her, I'm going to give you 30 million and then gave her 5.
She was still appalled.
But now there's another side to this.
Bitch, please.
There's another side to this too, though.
I wish it would.
The eyes that Netflix have. Say you think you deserve 30 million and you got to take 5 to get the look.
That's the marketing aspect.
And if your numbers run up, the next time they come to the table, unless they was trying to sign into something long term for multiple specials at this rate, they got to come for real.
Mm-hmm.
Is it sometimes worth it just to dip your toe in for the little bit? But now part of what she said, and I if this is true, I understand this. She was saying that she couldn't do anything else until this content came out, which would have probably been a 2 year.
They would have stopped her money then.
Period.
That would have stopped a lot of things she had going
that's a thing, but I think that's negotiable in most cases.
Your whole contract should be negotiable, right?
That's what it. I mean, every word on there can be switched if you have the right representation and know what to switch it to. And that's part of what I wanted to say too. This is why people have publicists. Like part of having a husbander is that you two speak for each other. So, there's no third party. So it's not a second party because y'all won.
Right. Let me segue that into something else that stuck out was the Kanye's
Talk to me.
So to me, I take that as Trump and Kanye because they should have publicists, right? But I feel like certain people say, "Fuck my publicist." I'm saying what I want to say.
Just don't like really people say, care. "Fuck my stylist."
You know what I'm saying?
But I think you should be fly to say, "Fuck my stylist." Just like you should
Maybe
be.
They think they are.
Just
fly.
like you should.
They think they are savvy.
Just like you should be sharp to say, "Fuck my publicist." Like
I mean,
I think it's levels.
Maybe they think they are.
No, but that's the thing, and mind you, fly is in the eye of the beholder. I guess, like I believe that to a certain extent,
right?
But I also know that raggedy is raggedy.
Yeah.
And like even Kanye being the man that he was fashion wise when he put all that Yeezy collection out that looked like a bunch of shit that you see niggas begging wearing.
The trains wearing.
That's still raggedy.
Right.
Like you're not gonna tell me that's fly.
Let me ask you this though. What do you think about his comment?
He's made 50 of them.
Right.
The Harriet Tubman comment is what you're talking about?
Specifically. Because that's one of the things you sent me.
I think he's manic. But I also think part of him being manic, and I don't want to sound crazy, but I have dealt with a certain demographic professionally.
Right.
I feel like sometimes it's like being drunk. You really saying what you feel. Mm-hmm. Now there's twist in it. You don't get it out clearly. You might mix certain things together, but when you get a consistent baseline, it's like out of all the things he said, he's not happy in his marriage. He doesn't trust Chris. He doesn't respect the way she runs her family. Like certain things he really believes. The Harriet Tubman thing goes on to slavery was a choice. It's still the same shit.
But do you think we heard the comment in its entirety? I didn't see the whole interview, so I don't know. All the snippets that I see plays those two lines or whatever it is. Just
you talking about the whole rant. It wasn't an interview. That was his political
right when he was
rally. And what happened was I've seen it from multiple standpoints. I saw the girl's footage that he got an argument with. She said, and you saying all this and we can't even see your face because she had a mask on or a bandana around her face and she snatched the bandana down. And then she went online and explained what happened before that clip.
Oh, shoot.
And showed a clip that started before that part of the video. Okay. So I've seen it from a lot of angles. It looks like a manic breakdown, and it looks like at the same time he has certain points that if this is your political rally, you're driving certain points home, right? Why is Harriet Tubman even a part of your political conversation?
Right.
If less it's about reparations. Like, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about why does abortion turn into, well, my dad didn't want me and my wife didn't want our kid? Like, why does that turn into you breaking down crying? Like, this is not, it's just like when you go to a Kanye show and he gives a rant or a sermon.
Yes,
it's like, this is not the platform. This is not the purpose of this platform. And if you'd have scoped the purpose right, you'd have had the right crowd, the right venue, and maybe some understanding or somebody there that could give you some cohesion of thought. But he's rich enough that his onion is built of yes men.
Yes, absolutely.
And the women in his life live for the people. So not to blame them.
Who were the women in his life besides him?
I'm talking about the KK clan.
Oh, okay.
The Kim Kardashian clan. Oh my God, that sounded bad, but you know what I mean.
I know what you meant. That did sound crazy.
I'm talking about them. Like it's a machine of people that are made to be in the spotlight, thrive on being in the spotlight, have maneuvered the spotlight better than probably any other fucking family since the Kennedys.
Right.
To be honest with you.
That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like, if he's bipolar and every 3 to 6 months he's going to go through one of these, he doesn't need to constantly be under that umbrella
pressure,
because it's too fucking much for him. It's like, for some people, there's umbrellas, right? And umbrellas is something that shields you when you come together and you make this thing that's protective. Some people's umbrella has a spotlight in it, just like these lights we looking at. You see what I'm saying? It'll be a umbrella looking figure, but there's a light that's coming right into your face, and it never goes the fuck off. So you never get a chance to figure out, like in life, every 2, 3, 4, 5 years or so, I'm sure anybody in this room figures things out about themselves. They elevate themselves. They realize their new position and say, well, how do I adjust to this? And then go to the next phase. And what do I want to do? And what do I want to change? And how do I want to improve? That's a lot when you got this and this. And they shooting at each other, and you in the middle, he's burning up. He's on fire. But I really am not excusing him for the strong statements that he continuously makes against our community and our struggle. Because it's also always followed by a rollout. We get sneakers.
Absolutely.
We get the Gap. We get albums. We get anything when he's manic. If he only does business when he's manic.
It's intentional?
I think to a certain extent it is. And I think that it might be possible that when he goes into rollout mode,
he goes crazy.
No. They can't go with him. Nobody's waking up with you every morning. Did you take your medicine today?
Right.
All of that kind of shit. Because now you on media tour, you on road, you doing your thing, you making stops and shit. That's possible too. You see what I'm saying? He might be able to throw himself off of his own balance when he is in the promotion mode.
Right. Because
you live different, you eat different, you on the road, you thinking about things different. But like, he brought Meek into their situation.
He did?
Yes. He said, I ain't trust Kim since she had that reform meeting with Meek at the Waldorf. Then he said, Meek, my nigga, he ain't disrespect, but that was crazy.
So he said he trusts Meek over Kim? What kind of shit?
It's a lot of, and that's why I say I don't know if he really.
All kinds of stuff.
I don't know if Meek fucked her. I don't think he did actually, but ultimately I feel like you're unhappy in your marriage.
Absolutely.
The baseline of all of these means you're just not happy where you're at on that side of the tracks, and you need to separate yourself. He said the movie Get Out was made about him. When you say 8 things that are similar, I don't care how sporadic they seem, your mind is stuck on something.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean that's my thing with that. But
okay. So
go ahead.
that was 2. I'm trying to think.
A whole other episode.
Yeah. So I didn't really get a chance to read T.I.'s whole letter. I wanted to read T.I.'s letter and actually do my own research prior to sitting with you and speaking to you about it, because I like to be knowledgeable. I don't like to just talk. But so what are your thoughts on that then?
I'm trying to remember the letter you were referring to.
It was about black people, our reparations, specifically to London. I can't remember the exact organization, but because they've already admitted their.
Oh, you talking about the Lloyd's of London thing?
Lloyd's of London, they already admitted the shame.
They started from financing the slave trade.
Right.
They were the insurance policy for the slave trade.
Right.
And they admitted to it, and they said that they would do something to make amends of some sorts. And his thing, because I actually watched the interview with the Breakfast Club afterwards, after the article or the letter came out, where he explained that basically they admitted that they owe. They don't get to say what they owe. We should be able to dictate what we get from them. If we're 13% of the population, we should get at least 13% of what they're worth.
But let me ask you this. So in regards to reparations, is it every organization that has built their assets and value off of our backs? Funny?
This reparations talk has just became something that people are taking seriously. So it's changing every day because there's levels.
I don't think it should just be the government.
No, and that's what he was saying. He's saying it's people are looking at it as a one-time payoff.
Nah.
He's saying no, there are reparations to come from multiple places.
Absolutely.
That can build up to a point.
These universities that built our back.
But what he's saying is if we get all these places that owe us reparations in some form or fashion and was able to build these corporations and these legacies off of our backs, then we could get enough to give every descendant of slaves in this country $1 million.
And for me, we spoke to this before. It's not even about the millions of dollars. So what I was about to say is, yes, do I think
no, but we're talking about equity too. We're also talking about equity.
So my whole thing is like the universities that was built off our backs. Yeah, we should be able to go to school there. You know what I mean? Like things like that. That's the
thing. See, if everybody's accountable for their part, then those things happen in some form or fashion. But it's just like, you know how much simpler it is for a lot of these universities, depending on their
these
level.
banks we built, give us their money.
That too, but depending on the level of involvement, a lot of these institutions could just say every person of African descent or from slavery descent pay in-state tuition.
It could be a lot of levels.
You know how much that helps? It's like if you from DC, you pay in-state tuition anywhere because they not a state.
Or wherever you want to go.
So it's like that opens the options of people from this area to shit they didn't have a possibility of being around before. Now, I would prefer free education, but like I said, depending on whatever your level of, because I'm not going to paint everybody with the same brush. Everybody didn't come in. Everybody wasn't even established at the same time as some of this shit. But a lot of these things or these people come from what came from. But let's get that. Mm-hmm. A little bit of that. A little bit of that. Mm-hmm. Need a whole lot of that. Double up on that though. And you know what?
I need almost all that.
Everybody loves extra bacon. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you got to do it. It's like, it's situational. And if you look at it that way, then you don't sell yourself short. We not at that $1,500 conversation we was having before.
Right.
When motherfuckers don't know their worth. Because at the end of the day, the way it will really work, once you started rolling, it'll be like royalties at some point. Because just dig this. Imagine this. We get a few billion from this situation, right? Split that up for everybody. Everybody get 10, 20 grand, whatever the fuck they get, right? Then we get a few billion from this situation. Then you get another check 6 months later for $5 grand.
That's what I'm saying.
Next thing you know, the $100 grand check drop from somebody big, and then like that shit could be kind of decent.
What I'm saying is, before it needs to be just. I mean, yes, we need all of that. However, we need to steer all of those funds in a certain direction. So there needs to be a coalition or some type of other organization.
Who was it? Netflix that just invested $100 million in the black banks?
No,
who was it?
I saw that.
It was Netflix.
It was Netflix.
And that's a big deal. But you know what's funny about that?
I saw that.
And it's the same thing I keep wanting to reiterate. Like, hip hop is a real culture. It's a real thing, but it's an all encompassing thing. We have done so much for fucking race relations through this fucking culture of ours that was fought against the entire time that we fought for it and participated in it. We've brought races closer together than any other thing that you could point to, even in sports. Because you can still be next to me on the line and be racist because we've seen people's reaction to what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. But if you're a part of this culture, you're a part of this culture. And I say that to say, a few years ago, all the rappers were saying what?
Right.
Invest in black banks.
Right.
Pull our money as a community. Open an account. Drop something in it. Ain't gotta be crazy. You got 100? You got 1,000? You got 1,000,000? Let's just do it. So that they can create more things, that they can give out more small business loans, they can approve more things in our neighborhood. So like I feel like people in power are starting to come around.
You got my mind blown with that one. I saw an article with what you just said.
Yellow boy. Ain't shit, I'm recording a podcast. I'm about to put you on speaker. What's up with you though?
Chilling, bro. Shit, what's up, man? We can come over there a little earlier. Hang the fuck out of there.
You said you wanted to slide through the studio a little early and just kick it?
Yeah, just kick it. Not record right now, just politics.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what we going to do. I'll meet you up there. What time you thinking?
Shit, I was going to slide probably like next 10. I'm rolling these 2 joints real quick. I'm going to see how far the address is from over here.
All right, well, send me a text and let me know your ETA, and I'll give them the heads up, and I'll meet you there.
All right, so let's put that here.
My man. Now, Saf, remember we interviewed Miami? That was Yellow Boy Zay, the light skinned one with the producer with the long hair.
Yeah.
They in town for the next couple weeks, so they hit me up the other day.
Let me know when we ready. Like
we going 11:22 after this.
You are?
We going.
Let's go.
And they got a session tonight. Shout out to 1122 MMG Studios.
Shout out.
They want to talk business and they want to work on some music, so we gonna slide through on them. So
Let's
that was
go.
him. That's why I answered. I'm like, fuck it, man. That's folk, and I always want to salute them because they really hold it down.
Absolutely.
Dope brothers, man. But no, my bad. What was we talking about?
Oh, that one we was talking about the reparations.
Oh yeah, you was going on to another topic. You had a new one for me.
I'm trying to think of the new one. So we had Monique, we had T.I. Oh, so the article that I wanted, well, I didn't know, I wasn't going to tell it, but I will tell it. It's not that deep because you're going to see it on the Scene magazine.
Talk to her, gorgeous.
No, so we were talking about black banks, and so I want to research the black banks that are in the country and actually put an article together and a director, not just a list, but I'm going to creatively do it. Yeah. But I want us to know who we can invest in regards to in that matter. That's one thing I can do. So
I think it's big. I think I thought it when they said it. I knew what it meant. Like I said, and we always say, I've had an understanding of a lot of these things way before they were popular. A lot of these things seem unfathomable. But you always thought towards them. Whenever the conversation would come up, you could always gauge like, we still ain't talking about nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we still ain't said nothing.
It's about the substance, man.
So it's like, at the end of the day, they have to do things to give us a level up, to catch up.
Absolutely.
And that comes in many different forms, and that can't be done solely by the government. But to as a point to that, part of what's bothering me right now, I think, is that when it comes down to all of this shit, what the fuck was it? My bad, I just drew a blank. I never did that before. But no, when it comes down to it, it's like, why the hell? Now that we're starting to see progress, one, why are we fighting against it? You know what I mean? Why am I fighting my own? Why am I explaining to people that explain to us that they grew up the same way, they seen the same shit? Why am I constantly trying to explain stuff to you that people that don't even look like us, that didn't grow up that way, understand? Like, it makes it difficult. It makes it frustrating. But at the same time, I feel like because I know what I know and I have the understanding that I have, that it's partially my job to do it. But it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, really exhausting. Like, I see people with platforms that are running with conspiracy bullshit.
But that's what, so you know what, it's so interesting. So when they talk about like fake media and all that stuff, like fake news, it's interesting right now. So the internet for me is a gift and a curse. All these platforms are a gift and a curse. I think you have to do your due diligence to understand like who's credible and who you should actually like listen to. Not even listen to. Like, you have to do your own research. So there's a lot of people out here who's talking nonsense or who's talking things that are not even truthful. But for me, I'm a person who researches the things that I'm interested in. I think everyone has a responsibility to do their own due diligence. Don't be a follower. You can't be a follower. Even if you agree with what people are saying, make sure that you have their own responsibility to check it on your own. Like, you got to make sure that you are checking the facts. What I believe in is a sign of a hypocrite is somebody that repeats something that they have not researched or know that is factual. If I hear something from him and I just go and tell it, I'm a hypocrite. I don't know if it's factual or not. I'm not one of those, and I don't think you should be either.
And you know what's crazy? One thing that I respected about
PSA.
even when I was in Bible study, vacation Bible school, the guys, the women, the people that taught us, one thing they said was, if somebody tells you something about God, look it up. Go to the source, look it up. You're supposed to read, and that's even in religion, in a religion where everything is based around faith and just believing. I was always told, look it up for yourself. You know what I mean? So when I tell people things, I don't think I'm above you checking what I said. And mind you, I could be 70% right, 80% right, 90% right on the play-by-play of what I'm
but you still need
saying.
to know for your own.
So at the same time, you can help me.
But guess what? I'm gonna take it to the music. So Jay is my favorite, and he said, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see, even if it's spat by me. Like, listen.
Yeah, you can't be that great that you perfect. Like we all trying to figure it out.
Not even the greatness. Just you got to know your own for yourself. You can't rely on what somebody else say.
Mean, it's levels to all of this shit too. Like there's this anything you learn about education is once you learn something, you figure out how much you don't know.
Exactly.
So it's like you could be at a level of understanding, and this is in religious practice, this is in education, what is all educate. But in business, you could be at a certain level of understanding. But when you're next to someone that has a different level of understanding than you have, it ain't the same. And that should make you want to try to figure out your path there. Mm-hmm. Because you're not wrong. You're where you at.
Right. Absolutely.
But you should be trying to progress.
Absolutely.
You should be trying to progress. But
I'm always trying to get where I'm not.
We got to get to the stew. So we about to wrap this pup.
Let's wrap this thing
tight.
Up.
Put a bow on it. But definitely appreciate talking to you all the time.
Always a pleasure.
I like the curly Sue look.
Oh,
Thank
you.
Came through with the curly Sue.
My natural kick.
Shout out to Bridge Life.
Shout out. I found a way to wear this shirt. I was telling you, like, dang, I got a navy joint. I'm trying to figure out how to.
Font Productions.
Oh, that joint go right with the joint with the dress.
With your lay you got on. Font Productions.
Oh, I want my navy blue and white ski joint.
Chick with the juice. And
I'm gonna hit my sis up for because I was going to actually wear her shirt today.
You know what I mean?
But I was running behind as always.
We just want to salute to the people that help us do what the fuck we do, man.
Listen, shout out to the folks.
Yeah, man. So get the people to run down so we get the fuck out.
Yo, so let's go. You already know you can find me at onthescenemagazine.com for your positive platform for everything that you need associated with what you want. We have a new edition coming out August 7th. And we're going to have a lot of information for you, resources, access. Just stay tuned on thescenemagazine.com for all your positivity. Holla at me.
Word. And check out Sippin with Sammie podcast every Thursday, 4 p.m. We run happy hour on Thursdays. And check me out every Friday on Glocawear Radio, the best happy hour in the world, the greatest station in the nation, 4 to 6 p.m. Flyboy Friday Radio. Check us out every Friday, man. It's lit. And
it's lit.
Follow me on the gram at Sippin with Sammie. Subscribe, like, share, comment, promote, please. We appreciate you. And check me out. Type Sam Malone, Sippin with Sammie into whatever the fuck you stream music on, man. Let me know what you think. Real shit. You are appreciated. Always. Big things them going. We'll keep you posted.
You just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with. And remember who you're dealing with.
Right. At all. Oh, man. Malone. My God. Man, we getting live. I just want to make sure y'all remember something. Don't forget it. At all. Remember who you're dealing with. Remember who you're dealing with. Remember who you're dealing with. Remember who you dealing with. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Remember who you dealing with. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Remember who you dealing with. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Remember. Lay low for a bit. Rap still solid. Memory decent. Only the precinct to keep me off dollars or off your collar. My pups off the chain. Record chasing, going insane, but nothing done in vain. It's done in trucks, it's done on boats, but nothing's good as it seems. This game is cutthroat. Push a line might get pushed back, or worse, stand tall. Next shot at it, strike first. We strike harder, work smarter. Into that, my only opponent's me, not the internet. No chitter chat. Show the check and rule number 1. Don't forget, son. Show respect. Remember who you dealing with. 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 Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Remember who you dealing with. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Remember who you dealing with. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Remember.
I ain't gonna win. Even when I lose, learned the lesson. Almost gave in, almost gave up, almost tapped out on my last mile. Had to man up, hold my chin up. Disrespect, we don't play with that much. Matter of fact, we don't play at all. Unless it's course a little basketball, football, a little tennis too. Only back and forth that I do. Ride for the ones that I love. High, nah, I don't know that word. Action talk, all I know is verbs. Smoke the face, but I know they fold. Sippin' with Sammie, they know alone. See them rolling, you know that's Poe. All in Philly on the fly day. Know we champs, we do damage. We don't plan this, but we still manage to set the standards to raise the bar. And raise the bar.
Remember who you're dealing with.